बातें किस्से कहानियों में भी होती हैं और चाय की बैठकों पर भी। पुणे के किताबी चाय बुक कैफे की गपशप का हिस्सा बनिए केसी क्लिक के साथ। वाइब ऑफ अ कैफे, वॉइस ऑफ द रियल।
Okay, so let's start with introduction. Myself, Parvaz. I'm a writer and I've been in Pune for more than 3 to 4 years. How about you?
I'm Ayu. I'm a travel content writer and I'm just on a travel mode over here in Pune.
Oh, nice.
Hi, I'm Parth. I'm a third year engineering student. I've been in Pune all my life.
Oh my god. How's it been so far?
It's been pretty good. I mean, I have known nothing else, so nothing to compare it with.
Okay. I hope you explore a lot.
Yeah.
And you?
Hi, I'm Vishwa. I'm also pursuing my BTech in computer science. I'm in my third year right now, and I shifted to Pune in 2021.
21. Where were you before?
I was in Aurangabad. Aurangabad is my hometown.
Oh, the 2B Sambhajinagar, right?
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah. You?
Hi, I'm Hussein and I'm a programmer and a student.
You are a programmer and a student.
Yeah.
What are you studying?
ECA.
Okay.
Okay, hi, I'm Saloni. I'm an interior designer by profession and in the last year of my degree and pursuing an internship currently. Been in Pune for 12 years.
Nice.
Come on, Shivansh bhai.
I'm Shivansh. I'm a businessman. I'm in Pune from 5 to 7 days.
5 to 7 days. So where is your business setup?
It's in Indore, MP local.
Oh ho.
And you are from?
Indore.
What's your business?
I'm a retailer. Dukandar.
Money man.
Nice.
Yes. Dhanda saras che. So, the topic for today is how the real world is different from the world showed in school for a working professional.
Okay.
So, let's start with the person with the most experience.
Okay.
Are you?
So I would like to start this with this thing that as you move on in life, you realize that in school we have taught that you should be friends with everyone.
Right.
But I feel that in real life or in work life, it's not necessary that you should be friends with everyone.
I agree with that point.
True. But in school as well, अगर हम देखें तो हम choose करते हैं हम कौन से
Yeah,
group
we
का
do
part
choose,
बने.
but we always thought कि be friends with everyone, be just friends with everyone. Best friend and things are separate, but just be friends with everyone, be nice to everyone, no matter what. That's what they taught me in my school.
So what my personal belief is यहाँ पर कि एक तरीके से वो colleague environment जो होता है ना, वो inculcate किया जाता है.
Yes.
Like,
And you
treat
try to
everyone
be
with
friends with
respect.
them, and then they beat your ass.
So basically in school we are taught to like not actually keep boundaries, kind of.
Yeah,
Do
that's
everything
what. That's
possible.
what a better explanation.
And like
yes.
when you come into the professional world, you just learn like what kind of boundaries you should keep or you shouldn't keep.
Yes.
Like personally, in spite of like I just started my internship like 2 months ago. Okay. Before that I was in college. I was like, अगर मैं इन लोगों से बात नहीं करूँगी या इन लोगों से नहीं करूँगी, I'll miss out या probably it kind of अंदर से वो compulsion आता था that हाँ इससे भी बात करनी, इससे भी बात करनी, इससे भी बात करनी.
Yeah.
When I entered my internship, I realized like I don't have to be that friends wala this thing with everyone.
That's what.
It could be like a casual conversation probably or something like professional conversation. It's not necessary that you always socialize with everyone on all levels, and that's where I learned that as an adult you learn how to keep boundaries more as a kid.
That's what.
And I think kids should be taught about this, keeping
Yes.
their boundaries,
Yes.
and not being
Correct.
like compelled to just socialize with everyone even though they don't
There's
want
no
to.
need. It is
And
not
in
should
school,
be a compulsion.
everyone tells you that like सबसे बात करो, सबसे
That's
घुलो
fair,
मिलो,
that's fair.
you do this.
Exactly.
We understand the point of view, but if a person is not comfortable, then after a
You
point
should
they
respect
keep,
that.
Yeah, you should respect that. You should keep it as an option.
तो ये तो हुई बातचीत की बात. अगर बोर्ड्स के हिसाब से जो फिल्टराइजेशन करके रखा हुआ है, लाइक ICSE एक बोर्ड होता है, फिर उसके बाद में स्टेट बोर्ड्स होते हैं, CBSE बोर्ड है. हर बोर्ड का कुछ डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव रहा है, पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ही अलग हो जाता है. लाइक एजुकेशन बोर्ड्स जब डिफर करते हैं तो पहले मैं जानना चाहता हूँ कि यहाँ पर कौन कौन किस बोर्ड से
I'm from
आए.
state board.
State
ICSE then state board. So like both have experience.
TBC.
CBSE.
ICSE.
ICSE. Okay.
ICSE.
CBSE.
CBSE. State board.
TBC.
So basically, what
Groupism.
So basically, this is true. Like you know, every like a general perception सबका ही है. ICSE is the elite class, then comes CBSE, then comes state board. I disagree completely. In spite of being from an ICSE, but ultimately, then you get to know people, right? You actually get to know मतलब उनका जो value set होता है life में is on their skill set. ये categorize करना that just because a person is coming from a certain board, they'll be better or they'll be worse, is just a myth, quite frankly. I've seen it in my brother's professional life. I've seen it in my professional life. It's a myth. This thing कि ये board से कोई आया तो they have to be a certain giver. There are characteristics that are there, but then categorizing or like generalizing कि वो ऐसे ही निकलेंगे, that's wrong.
It depends on individual
Yeah.
to individual, because there is no doubt that there are more perks or more easy ways to learn things in ICSE or CBSE, whatever
Of
we can
course.
say.
Not
But
easy.
it easy
The
as in
approach is
more,
different. That's what
yeah,
I've
the
seen.
approach is different. So, but it completely depends how the individual, how that kid takes the knowledge. How he
Of course.
grabs
Yeah.
it. That's
And
what is different.
also the way the teachers over there put the knowledge forth in front of them, like the way they behave. Like I have been in ICSE school and then I went to a state board. I saw the difference.
Yes.
Like the way
There
the
is-
teachers,
there is.
a huge difference. Like the way the teachers behave in both the ways is like completely different. I mean, it shouldn't be like that, honestly. According to me, is because everyone should, I think, receive the same kind of interactions when they're there, so that I don't know how to explain it, but like
Let's hear it from ICSE people then.
I'm an ICSE kid himself.
Yeah, but partly, right? Divided. For them, it's like completely ICSE. So how you guys have seen people जो दूसरे boards से आते हैं? Like, are there any differences that you feel, or in any way like you feel that इनका education it's somewhere behind on the same stage? भले वो लोग 10th के अगर हैं तो उनके पास जो पढ़ाया जा रहा है 10th में वो ऐसा होगा syllabus जो शायद तुम्हारे 7th में already covered होगा.
See, the educational gap is not that big.
Okay.
I mean, 11th, 12th, if you do it from a SSC school or an ICSE school, is quite frankly the same. Nowadays, everybody is preparing for the IITs, the JEEs, the CETs.
Right.
So the board syllabus structure that doesn't actually matter that much, because boards के marks you don't get anywhere. To
So
get
marks is a different thing. Like
Yeah.
the formation of
The
a
formation
child,
of the
like
syllabus
it's
is-
mentally जो formation होता है, जैसे exposure काफी जगहों पर दिया जाता है. The kind of exposure a person studying in ICSE board gets.
So I come from an ICSE school where there was a lot of favoritism.
Okay.
So if you think about exposure, only a fraction of the kids get it.
This happens.
Not everyone in an ICSE school gets the exposure that they talk about so frankly. You'll go into concerts, you'll do this, you'll do debates, you'll do elocutions, you'll do everything. No, only a certain fraction of the kids do it who have been doing it from the very start. And the teachers will select those kids only because frankly, you want to win, right?
Right.
You
but
won't give a
the
new
favoritism.
person-
It's like ये तो school politics sound कर रही है ज़्यादा.
It is that.
It is that.
It is that.
It is that. Like
Okay.
I've seen this too in an ICSE school. There was only like one group of 5-6
Yeah.
people,
Who
like
used
the
to
elite
participate.
club, जो हमेशा
Yeah, who
हर
used to
जगह use
participate
होते
in
थे.
it. And these guys only get the full exposure of things in school.
Yeah.
Normal kids just go and come back home, eat dabba and हो गया. That was school life.
And I think we are at profit because in state board, what
Okay.
happens, they choose the people who don't talk, you come, you do.
हाँ, I mean,
They-
I've seen that. I've seen
yeah,
that.
that's what there's
I've
a
been
difference.
in both, so like ICSE में there's a lot of favoritism. State board में
Yeah.
सबको
This
आगे
is the
भेजते
first
हैं.
time I'm like hearing something like this from.
Yeah. State board में वो धक्का मार के सबको
हाँ,
भेजते हैं आगे.
if someone is not talking, you come, you do it, you write on the
Exactly.
board.
So being a state board person, she is not talking. Were you the favorite one in ICSE?
I mean, kind of, but
Okay,
that's how you got it right. There's a catch.
Yeah.
coming to the educational background, I'll see that ICC students have a stronger foundation.
Ah,
Coming to that.
precisely.
Exactly. So I was studying in ICC. My brother did his primary education in state board.
Okay.
So this is the difference I noticed, and even my mother noticed. So basically, if you provide an ICC student with a concept, it is more likely that they have a better grasp at it because they were laid with that foundation.
Okay. The
Yeah.
methods of learning.
Exactly. The foundation which you get in ICSE is better than you get in state board. Maybe because it's the syllabus, maybe because how the way it is structured, or maybe because the way it's taught, which is obviously different in ICSE.
Definitely, like the kind of teacher state boards get.
Exactly.
Trust me.
Not about the teachers, I'm talking about the way
Surrounding.
it's taught.
The environment.
The environment as well.
Exactly.
That
The
matters.
learning environment, of course.
Because it differs a lot. If you go by state board, it will be some random thing, and if you go by ICSE or anything regarding that, it will be some way too different.
I
The
mean,
compatibility and the difference is huge.
What about in CBSE schools? You're from a CBSE school.
Yeah, I was from CBSE school, but I was in a hostel, so I have not really seen it much. I used to sleep.
ओके ये एक अलग पर्सपेक्टिव मिलेगा भाई हॉस्टल का बता अगर स्कूल के एंगल से तो बता रहे हॉस्टल मतलब हमारे लिए तो फिर भी ऐसा था कि घर में फॉर्मेशन हो रहा है
हाँ।
कल्चर का थोड़ा फॉर्मेशन हो रहा है वहाँ पर तो तू ऑलरेडी एक बाहर की दुनिया में था
हॉस्टल में तो दुनिया देखी होगी.
बहुत ज्यादा दुनिया देख
सब
के आया
देखा
है ये
होगा.
And school में there are very less people who go to hostels. Like as
Very
far as
less,
I've
very
seen.
less.
सो सीबीएसई
So, usually the thing was, मेरा जो स्कूल था एकदम डिसेंट, स्कूल के अंदर एकदम डिसेंट. हम लोग क्योंकि जितने भी मेन थे, लाइक जितने भी सारे मस्ती वाले थे, सब स्कूल में आके सोने के और हॉस्टल में जागने के. रात भर.
Okay.
Sounds like my college life.
Same.
फॉर हिम इज इट्स स्कूल
School
लाइफ
life.
Yeah,
Lucky.
and should I say about that my business at hostel or no?
तूने नाम दिया है तू बोल
अब बता ही दे.
हाँ इतना तो क्यूरियोसिटी आई गई लोगों को
हाँ,
क्या करता था आप बताओ आपका बिजनेस बताइए
मैं एक पेडलर था छोटे स्केल पे.
छोटे स्केल पे पेडलर मतलब वो यूज
Like-
तू ड्रग्स बेच रहा था
नहीं, ड्रग्स नहीं, बस स्मोक्स हो गया, ड्रिंक्स वगैरह इतना सब.
Paracetamol.
In school.
Yeah, in school.
In
Alcohol.
which grade?
Yeah,
In which grade?
I used to be in 7th and
And you peddled alcohol.
yeah,
Damn.
to
boy.
the people in 11th and 12th.
Damn.
ओनली सीबीएसई
Yeah,
That's
just
what-
serious things.
actually, there were people in our school which used to do it too, and they got caught. Yeah, I mean, it is
They
not
get in
just...
an ICSE school, you snuck in itna sabhi, you will get caught. like
Nahi,
that.
not
But in-
quite. They had a whole chain of students doing it.
Damn, and were there like drugs?
Not drugs as
alcohol?
such. That when I was back in my 10th, the pen hookah was a very big thing.
Okay.
So they used to smuggle in
That
all the
era.
flavors
Vapes
and
and all.
vapes and all, and then they used to just smoke it in and blow it in the fan so the teacher wouldn't notice. It was
Damn,
insane.
okay, I could never even sneak in a
And-
phone, let alone a hookah.
If you think that a ICSE school is strict, that's where you're wrong. I mean, things like these happen at our schools as well, but it's just we are smart enough to not
Not get
Oh.
caught.
not get
Yeah, exactly.
The foundations are strong.
Foundation is strong.
Foundations are strong. There are, I will not name what kind of things they used to smuggle, but they used to
They
do that
used
in
to.
school. In our school itself, like we were in 10th, it's a category of drugs, but we didn't even know about that, it existed. And these people used to peddle it, smoke it, and everyone, all
Yeah,
of them.
I mean, it is not unheard of. Because
Yeah.
the kids who go to an ICSE school come from very elite families as well as
Exactly.
very middle class families.
Of course.
So the friends which you make in an ICSE school matters a lot. So if there is a family jinke ghar pe smoking weed and all is normal, so the kid will always be
Yeah.
in that thought
It
process.
will be
that,
normal
"Yeah, ye to
for him."
normal hai.
Exactly.
And then he will influence the kids around him to do it at the same time. And the kids once get addicted to it, then they will start doing it, and that's how the drug chain starts.
Yeah, but ये भी अगर मैं ऐसा देखूँ ना, because I've spoken to a lot of people about this topic in itself, and generations में differ किया है. Like this generation that I'm talking to, like this sect of generation I'm talking to.
I am feeling very old.
Don't
We used to
worry,
smuggle
trust me.
Pepsi and all that. स्कूल में not allowed. छुपा के बैग में लेके आते थे.
ये मतलब ऐसे generations में मैंने ये भी
Yeah.
देखा हूँ कि एकदम old times में वो लोग literally अफीम वगैरह ये सब लेके आ रहे थे अपने स्कूल में. Like मेरे जो दादा वगैरह टाइम का एरा हो गया. फिर उसके बाद में अगर मेरा एरा बोलूँ तो इसमें pornography, like ऐसे comics, ये सारी चीजें.
You know
ये
what I
हमें-
used to smuggle in school? वो एक रुपए के there used to be this particular candy which used to come in like tablets के वो जो ये होते थे ना उसमें आता था, I forgot what it's called. I used to get that in school. 1 rupee का that whole thing used to be.
1 रुपए वरना मैं ecstasy सोच रहा था.
No, I used to get that in school,
Candy.
and I got caught. इतने से में, and I got yelled at for that. I don't know how people manage these changes.
I mean, technology plays a big part in this because when
Of
I went to
course.
school, everybody had a smartphone. So in
Yeah.
8th, 7th, 8th only they had smartphones. So the access to these things
became very easy.
became very easy, right? In your time, let's say to get some
MP3 players, those iPods.
to get some
We had to go to the washroom to talk something, you know, secret.
yeah, because the generation before
That
us
was the
even to
time.
access porn they had to
Yeah.
buy these big VHS tapes and the
Right,
entire
right,
TV
right.
set
Yeah.
and then find a
वो
room to
किसी
do
का
it.
एक
Now,
घर होता था जिसकी
Yeah.
हवेली होगी एक्चुअली कोई एक कोने का कमरा होगा.
I mean everything is just a
I
touch
can
away
relate
from
to
you.
it.
तू तो नहीं बोल रहा है 18 साल.
No, I mean seriously.
कैसे?
क्योंकि मेरा एक फ्रेंड था, उसके डैड का एकदम पुराना वाला लैपटॉप स्मगल करके लेके आया था उससे.
VHS tapes.
VHS tapes
No,
we
I'm
had
not
to-
talking about VHS tape.
मतलब like
VHS
similar
tapes
things
are
on like
different.
similar grounds.
Similar
So
grounds.
everything
Similar.
became very easy and then we don't have that sort of maturity at that age to you know ki ha we just saw things on the TV, we thought it was cool, let's try it out. I mean
Sahi
access to
galat ka-
content became very easy and
This strikes an important one for me. Like sex education. ये कितने
Dude,
मतलब
it's
हुआ है क्या किसी के?
non-existential. It's not. It doesn't exist.
It
Yeah,
only
it doesn't
happened in my
exist.
school.
It's a myth. It's a myth.
It's a myth.
It's a myth till date. It doesn't happen.
The
In
foundations were laid how strong for you guys?
I
I want to
we,
know.
we did have a chapter and
We all had a chapter.
We had a chapter, but it was
it,
skipped.
it wasn't about reproduction, the chapter was about birth control. The
Ooh.
entire chapter was on birth
Oh,
control.
damn.
Yeah, you go back to your ICSE 10th standard
No,
biology textbook.
I did not have it in my 10th.
We had
We had
and
the
everything
human
in that.
reproduction ka chapter.
Yeah,
normal
that's the
wala.
question.
They
Was
taught
it
you
skipped
to
or-
focus on the right areas.
Yeah.
That was taught.
It was taught. It was
Oh,
taught.
that's a great.
That's
I mean
actually
everything,
good.
every type of birth control was
No, it
taught.
was
Male,
always
female,
good.
everything. It
Yeah.
was quite open at our school. I mean, people did used to laugh at it, but I mean, come on.
I mean,
actually-
at
Human
least they
nature.
have an idea,
Yeah.
right? In my school, I'm from an ICC school too, but then the only thing we were taught was human reproduction.
Yeah, that's
And
same.
That's it. वो भी ऐसे like ऊपर से
No, that
just
we had like
this
nice.
thing, and boys used to open the book and stare at it for like
Yeah.
hours in school
Yeah.
because that used to be
And then to you, what is there?
exactly. Yeah, one more thing that
Do you have
is,
anything to say about this? Because you were the favorite one.
I mean, our school was quite open about it. We used to have talks about it after Friday lectures. We used to separate groups of people, like girls and boys, and they used to teach us the correct ways and you know how you should open up and all. So we were pretty chill about it. I mean, I thought it used to happen in every school, but now that
No,
I see
now
it,
you
Can you
know.
please
Now
disclose
you
the
know.
names of your schools?
let's not.
Let's not. Let's not.
After this,
After
we'll
the,
know. I really
after the
want to know.
recording stops.
Exactly. I really want to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything sex education in your
No, no.
No.
nothing.
Even
Only
even
the
being
biology.
educated about periods, girls used to be taken in a separate room as a kone mein, and then everything used to be the doors and
Only-
windows are
yeah,
locked,
the
and then you were
girls-
just taught
the-
about
Yeah,
it.
that
Girls
used
were
to
like-
happen, but that used to happen with the boys as well, right?
No, so with us,
They-
no,
with
only
us,
girls.
only
batch
girls
was
were
there
taught
कि
about it.
लड़कियों को रोकना है, टाटा
हाँ.
बाय बाय, लड़के चले जाएंगे, लड़कियां
हाँ.
रुकेगी.
No,
Yes,
exactly.
female teacher used to guide
No,
us.
we used to have
I remember
simultaneous
this thing
sessions.
happening once. I remember this
And
thing.
then
हम लोग को
next day-
बोल दिया था फुटबॉल खेलने जाओ.
हाँ.
हम लोग अपना
हाँ.
फुटबॉल खेल रहे थे. हमको
Then
नहीं
next
पता
day
क्या है
class
बंदी
के
होगा.
सारे लड़के पूछते हैं कल क्या हुआ था,
क्या
सारी
हुआ था?
लड़कियों को क्यों
अरे,
रोका था?
हाँ.
Then you have to lie because they told you कि कल कोई पूछेगा तो बोलना, give some another reason.
Exactly. Like, that was the problem of the situation. Okay, even if you're not taking the guys, if they're asking us, let us release talk. Smuggling pads in school was like it's like that we are doing a crime trying to take our pads out and go to the washroom.
Oh, that's
In-
still
in our- in
there.
my school
still,
used to be like
it's
that.
still there if you go to a medical shop. If you want, you can try it right now.
They'll wrap it
They'll
in
wrap
paper
it in
and
a
give it
newspaper
to
and
you.
give it to you.
That's what
In
these
Pune
people
only,
do.
I'm telling you. Then you have to tell, "Bhaiya, bomb nahi hai. Please give it to me like that."
So I don't like that concept.
I
hate
think
that.
sex
I always deny.
education in school is not as important as sex education at home. It should start at home. Like a random girl coming and talking about sex is very uncomfortable and unsettling for me. The ma'am,
Right. It
See-
should initiate from the
हाँ,
people
it
you
should-
actually know, people you rely on.
yeah,
You can
people
share
you can
things.
actually talk to about these things and
But
people
what-
who actually care about you.
what I think, like parents, the old kind of like my parents, they don't talk about sex education.
Of
So
course
they feel somewhere I believe that they feel that this should be taught at school. In school जो teachers थोड़े awkward होते हैं, ऐसा कुछ एक topic नहीं है. They feel like कि ये तो माँ बाप बता देंगे घर पे.
It's basically a
दोनों तरफ
generational
से
gap.
मालूम
I
पड़ता
mean, how comfortable would you be to go talk about sex to
See-
a 10-15-year-old as a random stranger?
It's like
Exactly.
so
It really like creeping the fuck out.
And not only one stranger, a full class full of 10-15 years old, and you are just told to go talk about sex now.
वो बंदे के मन में आ जाएगा पीडोफिलिया तो नहीं हो रहा है.
हाँ मैं बच्चे बिगाड़ रहा हूँ.
I mean yeah.
बट हाँ सी अभी हम लोग तो काफी ऐसे महाराष्ट्र के कल्चर से बिलोंग कर रहे हैं. आप तो इंदौर,
हाँ
How are
वहाँ के
things
साइड
there?
पे कैसा रहा है?
सी हमारे पास तो स्टेट बोर्ड और सीबीएसई था, हमारे पास आईसीएसई था ही नहीं.
हाँ
हाँ एक्चुअली हमारे पास एक दो ऐसे बहुत नाम के स्कूल्स थे जो आईसीएसई थे, बाकी सब सीबीएसई थे. मतलब हमारे पास बेस्ट भी सीबीएसई नहीं है और वर्स्ट भी है, और दोनों स्टेट बोर्ड में ही है.
और टीचिंग कल्चर अगर कुछ ऐसा
नहीं,
जो साउंड में
culture
आपको
same ही होता है.
सेम ही ऐसा लग रहा है सब जगह पे,
So it's constant all over.
वो पॉइंट आपको मेंशन करना है. आपको स्कूल जाना नहीं पसंद था?
ऑलवेज भाई मैं कभी भी स्कूल जाना नहीं पसंद करता था.
I don't think anyone likes going to school.
You don't like going to school when you're there, but when you pass out, you realize
Yeah.
you
I
should have
realized
gone.
that.
There's
हाँ,
a very
कि वो best
famous,
place थी.
you're a writer, you must be knowing, there's a very famous quote in Hindi कि जब तक पिंजरे में थे तब तक तो उससे नफरत थी, जैसे ही पिंजरे से बाहर निकले पिंजरे से प्यार हो गया.
That
was
is
a
the-
good one.
तब तक
That-
दोनों के
that-
साथ
And that is actually true. 10th के
नहीं, मेरे तो थोड़े नाम के असरात रहे, तो मैं बचपन से ही बाहर निकलता रहा. लाइक आई वाज बंकिंग माय स्कूल्स, और वो स्कूल से भी बंक करके आई यूज्ड टू बी मोर आउट इन द नेचर, एक्सप्लोरिंग पीपल, ट्रेडिंग.
But you always sit and think कि बीते हुए दिन अच्छे ही थे जैसे भी थे.
Yeah.
Of course,
yeah.
Even if you got bullied the fuck out of in your school,
But still you
You
remember
still
your
miss
face.
it.
The bully culture.
so you were one of the favorites. I was the one who was bullied
Same.
by the favorites.
In school.
I was
Oh
that
my-
category.
In school.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
There was no
bullying.
bully culture in my school.
There was extreme bully
See,
culture.
मैं
in
तो
my
वैसा
school.
था कि मेरे ग्रुप से लोग मिस नहीं करते थे, उनको मालूम था ये थोड़े खतरनाक लोग हैं वैसा.
So मतलब
अच्छा,
you were
bully.
basically the elite class.
नहीं, we were not the bully, पर वो वैसा था कि हम लोगों को ना बुली करने का है, हम लोग काम रहता है अपना,
अपने
और
काम से
पंगा
काम
नहीं-
कोई और करता
पंगा
था?
नहीं लेने का,
कोई और करता था?
तो फिर उसकी शामत आती थी.
नहीं नहीं ऐसे
नहीं
मतलब
नहीं नहीं
हाँ.
जनरली कोई ऐसे
हाँ.
करने वाले होते थे. किस
हाँ.
टाइप की बुली होती थी उस तरीके?
अरे बहुत वियर्ड तरीके से bully होता था. अब यार
क्योंकि मैंने नॉर्थ वालों की रैगिंग की स्टोरीज बहुत खतरनाक सुनी होगी.
नहीं देखो मैं बचपन से ना 8 तक एक स्कूल में था, फिर मैंने स्कूल चेंज करा, मैं वहाँ गया, मेरा पहले दिन ही झगड़ा हुआ, मैंने मारा धाड़ी करी, लोगों ने बोला इसको अपने साथ रख लो ये बचाएगा. लोगों ने बोला इसको साथ में रखो ये मारेगा और बचा लेगा. मैं सरदारों के स्कूल में गया था.
और
और
भाई
खतरनाक.
साहब.
तो भाई अब ऐसा हर आदमी हट्टा कट्टा. मैं पहले कैथलिक स्कूल में था, तो वहाँ मैं हट्टा कट्टा, यहाँ मैं गया सारे हट्टे कट्टे सब पहलवान. अब वो वहाँ पर वैसा हो गया कि अब इन लोगों के साथ अगर लड़ूंगा तो पिट भी सकता हूँ. तो ऐसा मैंने 2-3 लोगों को घेरा जिनको मेरे को मालूम था मैं पीटूंगा. पीटा तो सरदारों के साथ खुश, पंजाबी हुई मजे.
अच्छा, नाउ आई गॉट द कोर ऑफ इट कि क्यों बुलिंग का एक्सपोजर ही नहीं मिला. पार्टी थे उन लोगों के.
हाँ.
So basically in my school the bullying culture was like pathetic. So there was this elite class of people जो थे and I'm pointing out to you. I'm pointing out to the elite class in my school. No offense.
No offense.
No offense.
In my school, okay. So basically they bully you on every human thing possible. Clothes, hair, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you dance,
Oh my god.
your weight, the
Which
songs
class?
you listen to.
Which class?
Everywhere. From
Like
5th
this-
standard I was bullied.
fifth?
5th standard I was bullied on that.
Okay.
तो बेसिकली
So-
प्राइमरी फेज के बाद.
हाँ. Even if you know they'll pair you up with random guys, telling you like them. ये बहुत होता था हमारे स्कूल में.
ये सारी
And-
चीजों को बुली कहते हैं. हाँ ना, मतलब ओके
The level it happened on,
ओके
Was-
That was
दैट.
bully. Okay.
yeah. I mean एक certain level तक ठीक है मजाक लगता है. But
अच्छा.
when it is literally spread out and across 8th to 10th, and everyone is just getting that forming a certain image of you. it had went to that level. Even if you go now, my batch, the batch before, the batch after mine, and the batch before mine, they all have a certain image of me. It's because that was created throughout while bullying.
Okay.
It was on that level.
And how much was the school administration aware about it?
Nothing.
नहीं, they are never aware of these things.
They are never aware. And even if
And even you don't complain या फिर ऐसा कुछ?
I used to scared. I didn't realize what was happening. I
That's
just took
pretty
it in-
normal. That's pretty
like,
normal.
At that time, I wasn't aware. I just, I was like, I wanted to be a part of that elite crowd so much that I took all the
You
bullying.
never
I'm like,
complained about it.
yeah, I never really went and complained to anyone about it. I was like, I let it happen. It's just because I thought maybe one day they'll just consider me friends.
Yeah.
But later on, when I passed out and I realized what the hell was happening, I was like, what the fuck was wrong with me? Why did I not complain? And it was too late by then. So eventually, the only thing I did was tell my younger siblings. किसी ने बोला तो तुम्हारी बहन को आके बोलना, तुम्हारी बहन देख लेगी क्या करना.
That's what I was coming to. कि वो सब जो हुआ उसके बाद do you have any lessons learned which you can apply in your real life, or
Yes,
now you can apply?
a lot of them.
Okay.
First thing being, do not take any body shaming as a joke. This has happened to me a lot, and people pass on body shaming as a joke very often, बहुत easily.
Yes.
You should know the difference.
Yes.
Second thing, filter out your friends a lot.
Okay.
It's not necessary to be a part of the big crowd.
Yeah.
Even if you have one friend, it's more
That's
than
enough. Yeah.
You do not need to be a part of a certain crowd or do certain things to be considered the cool or the elite people. You do what you like.
Very true.
It doesn't matter. So like usually in my elite class, they used to be like, they're from rich families. They used to come and go in cars. They used to go party every weekend and all that. And we used to feel left out. I'm from a middle class family, so we used to feel left out because हम उतना नहीं करते थे ये सब. Like we used to do, but very occasionally. Yeah. So you do not need to do those things necessarily, like party every weekend, to be considered cool.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that.
Indeed.
Like you can just do whatever you want. If your idea of a weekend is just taking a book and sitting and chilling, that's completely fine. If your idea of a weekend is partying, completely fine. You have to nurture yourself as an individual.
That's what you all have learned, like
Exactly.
from your
From my
school
experiences.
experiences. अगर वो नहीं होते तो
नहीं
probably
होता.
you
इसलिए
might be a
इसलिए
different
I do
person.
not regret those experiences.
Yes.
They happened for a certain reason. They taught me something. That's about it.
I
That's
think
good.
the only part about the real world which school teaches you is the bullying. I mean,
Exactly.
in the real world, it is quite similar to how you were bullied at school. But in the bullying at school, you can go home and cry to your mom and mummy ऐसे हो teacher को बताओ.
Right.
That is quite contained. But if that didn't happen, when you get bullied in the real world, it becomes like very difficult to handle and deal with all the
Because
trauma
of
that you can
cocoon
go.
टूट जाता है.
हाँ मतलब in school only if you are taught कि हाँ ठीक है ऐसे लोग भी है
Right.
तो you'll expect those people outside also and you will be prepared for it.
True. And one
The
part
thing
of
is, इस situation के अंदर, like even when I heard your scenes, तुमने जो अपने बारे में बताया, तो मेरे लिए वो बहुत ऐसा irrelevant था. Maybe because मैं जिस फैमिली से आ रहा हूँ उस फैमिली में ये ज़्यादा कल्टिवेट किया गया था थॉट के जो भी बाहर चल रहा है डोंट लेट इट अफेक्ट योर ओन थिंकिंग. तुम्हारा जो सेट जोन है उसको पकड़ के चलो. इफ़ यू आर फोकस्ड इनफ यू विल गेट दैट. बट वो जो लोगों का प्रेशर लेना जो होती थी बात, ये चीज़ मे बी एज अ फैमिली हमारे अंदर वो कल्चर है. क्योंकि कितने भी ऐसे लोग आके कुछ भी बोल रहे रास्ते पे किसी को कुछ किसी ने सुना दिया तो इट वॉज नेवर लाइक कि झगड़ा कर रहे या फिर बुरा मान रहे या फिर बांट के ऐसे कोना पकड़ के बैठ गए. मोस्टली इट वॉज लाइक बहुत प्यार से ही सही बट लाफा लगा के चले जाएंगे बातों से. ऐसा कुछ यानी पकड़ के नहीं चलते थे चीज़ों को. तो बुलिंग
See, that was like kind of a culture which was followed in your family.
एग्जैक्टली वो फैमिली से आया. दैट्स व्हाट आई एम रियलाइजिंग राइट
बुलिंग मेरे भी स्कूल में कभी नहीं हुई है. नेवर. जो ये मुझे पता है बुलिंग के सब मैंने मूवीज में और उसमें देखा है. एंड व्हेन आई वेंट टू द कॉलेज, आई एम फ्रॉम लाइक दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी, सो जब मैं सीधा वहां से निकल के वहां गई तब थिंग्स हैपेंड विद मी. सो इट वाज प्रीटी लेट फॉर मी but it happened. So that's when I know it's not mine was not in school.
For me, an advantage of that bullying which happened in the school was I realized what was happening and I did not let it happen again when I stepped into college.
Yeah.
So I put myself in a position, like you said, where I tried my best. It's still date I have not mastered that, but I tried my best not to let other people affect me.
Yeah. For
They
me
still
that
do.
started in college.
Yeah, they still do, but I try my best not to let them affect me that much. And you do realize how people should treat you and what treatment you should be like taking and what you shouldn't be.
You know your worth, you know your
Yeah.
value.
Exactly. You know your limits. What you can take, what you can't take. And that's good actually.
So
I
taking-
would like to tell you all that the difference between the normal schools and like where you all can go home, उसका ragging or bullying और hostel life का bullying बहुत difference है.
Damn.
Hostel.
They can't
हॉस्टल
even
का
go.
bullying कैसा है?
Hostel का bullying. See, if you are going to have a bath, your clothes will be vanished off. You don't know
School
where.
में.
School mein.
Yeah. You have to walk naked till your room.
Damn.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
a
see,
little
Boys school में
extreme.
था क्या?
हाँ, boys hostel था.
Which city?
लोनावाला.
Okay. We'll ask the college school name later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thankfully उसने बोला भी नहीं.
Yeah, I know. And the main thing is, I feel bad now. I mean, I feel guilty. I'll ask for forgiveness. Why? You know what? Yeah, I was one of those bullies.
Sorry.
He
I
was one of the
one
bullies.
those bullies जो कपड़े चुरा के भाग जाता था, लोगों को नंगा चलवाता था, ये था वो.
नहीं, मैं अकेला नहीं था. ग्रुप था
और
पूरा.
लोग थे, हाँ।
ये वो
होता
उस
है,
ग्रुप
कोई
का
बात
पार्ट था.
हाँ. नहीं उसने
ये
खुद ही
उसने
एक्सेप्ट किया
अपने
ना.
आप को
हाँ.
तभी बचा लिया
हाँ.
तो नाउ तो यू कैन कॉन्कर द वर्ल्ड.
ना ना
आपको
ना.
बचाना
This can
जरूरी
be
था
the
तेरे
best
point से.
segue. रियल लाइफ में आने के बाद में जब तुम अभी बड़े हो चुके हो,
हाँ.
अब तुम्हारी किस किस तरीके से बुली तुमको रियलाइज होता है कि ओके ये भी एक टाइप की बुली है. लाइक यू हैव वर्क
Yeah, I
इन अ
know.
कंपनी, सो नाउ यू नो किस तरीके के लोग होते हैं. एंड नाउ वी आर कमिंग बैक स्कूल से निकल के प्रेजेंट टाइम में क्या चल रहा है. जैसे अभी ट्रेडिंग वगैरह ये सब जो बिजनेस कर रहा था स्कूल में,
Yeah.
करंट टाइम्स में उन सारी चीज़ों का एस्पेक्ट एक बार एक अप्रोच बता मुझे.
अगर अभी देखा जाए तो now it feels like it was stupidity which I did in hostel.
ऑफ कोर्स.
Yeah, I know.
बट करंट अभी क्या चल रहा है?
he just living like a corporate slave. That's it.
कॉर्पोरेट स्लेव डायरेक्टली.
Yeah.
So you realize the bullies
स्लेवरी मतलब तू समझ रहा है, बुली इज नाउ फॉर लाइक एक स्लेवरी. वो
Yeah.
कैसे, क्या
हाँ.
डिफरेंस क्या है?
Because see, हॉस्टल में बुली वगैरह जो होता था वो लाइक एक लिमिट तक हो सकता था क्योंकि लाइक यू कैन कंप्लेन अबाउट इट. बट नाउ इन दिस वर्ल्ड लाइक इन आउट ऑफ द हॉस्टल लाइफ, इफ यू आर आई एम वर्किंग इन अ कॉर्पोरेट कंपनी, इफ यू टेक इट लाइक, so you even your managers will be bullying you, not like I mean straight, not in a straight way, but they'll do something or see something like that in a sweet manner, but that will affect you a lot.
So basically they bully you in a manner that you don't even realize
Yeah.
that you're getting bullied.
Exactly.
They're
They
making use
try
of
to
the
do
policies.
that.
Yeah.
They try to
Favorite.
Those policies.
आईसीएससी के फेवरेट, आपका क्या परसेप्शन है करंट वर्ल्ड में? कितने फेवरेट रहे हो आप अभी लोगों के?
I mean, school में I was always away from the bullying and all of that.
Right.
I was never involved in any of this. But like Parth said, I completely agree to him. But I think it is quite different when it comes to school and when it comes to when you're working with somebody. Even when you're in college, you're involved in some stuff. You're involved in some communities. Bullying happens there also. But one thing that stays constant is self-doubt. Bullying leads to self-doubt in my opinion. Bullying leads to self-doubt in my opinion, which is wrong. I mean, in college, if you're working with some community, you might not be given the credit for the work you've done.
that happens a lot.
In a way, is bullying, which is not noticed, which is not stood upon.
This
Right.
same
The
thing
recognition.
happens while you're
Exactly.
working as well in an industry.
But
You
exactly.
yeah, like in my internship also, there are so many drawings that I've done, but they have gone under the name of my seniors, not me. Even though everything start to end I've done.
Exactly. So the scale upon what it happens in school and the scale upon what it happens in college, the work life, is completely different. But the outcome that you're getting is set down, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is constant.
Yeah.
So the self-doubt, I mean, how are you personally like tackling if any self-doubt is like inflicting in you and तुम्हें लग रहा है कि initiate हो रही है self-doubt का, how do you come off it?
Okay.
What are you doing in order to like place it?
To to begin with, I think I completely agree with you what you said about the family. It comes from the family, right?
Right.
You were taught in a way to deal with things. You were taught in a way to adjust, to adapt into things, right? So that comes first. Second, I took my own decisions to go somewhere else. I took my own decisions to, join a committee, to do this work, to agree to working with something. So, in my opinion, if I am doing it on my own, I have the capability to deal with it myself, I guess. So, it's family plus you. You have to have your core strong. You have to have that
The
mental-
foundation needs to be strong.
Exactly.
And the
You see where
foundation.
it comes from.
So, like the foundation, even from my side, same things happen. My family's, like the foundation they've set for me is strong. So it's like, whenever these things happen, the way I personally deal with something like this is focusing on the progress that you've made. Like progress by yourself, whatever you've done. You look back at yourself 2 years ago and then you see what you are currently. And you see how much you've progressed. Keep apart the fame part or keep apart the credits part or anything. Just what you've learned through the process.
I'll give you a word, inner growth.
Inner growth, exactly. So you focus on the inner growth that you've done. And you, in the initial stages, this credit wala part is gonna happen. You know it for a fact it's gonna happen everywhere you go. It's very common and it's always gonna happen. You basically, when you have inner growth, that self-doubt turns into confidence slowly, right? And when you get that confidence, then you can ask for your place rightfully. That's how you learn through that process, and that's why you grow. And after a certain point of time, like after probably working in the industry for 2-3 years, you have grown to a point where you've been bullied, but you've learned from the bullying. Similarly, the way I was bullied in school and I learned through it. You learn through that process, you accept it, you deal with it for that time, and then you just realize how much you've been through, you get the confidence, and then you can ask for your bloody worth.
Yes, true.
Right,
What I
precisely.
think is that even if school tries to teach us a lot about real life, even if they try, they don't. But even if
They
they
don't.
try, the level we are at, the maturity level we have back in school is way less than what we have right now. And if
It
it
depends on person, like
Yeah,
situation to
but
situation. A
most of
person
the
might be
people
going
in school,
through. Right.
the average people in school, they don't have the sort of maturity level to understand what the gravitas of the actions that they perform on others.
Exactly.
How is it affecting them? So what I feel is that school doesn't teach you to be responsible for your own actions.
Yeah.
True.
I mean,
Actually,
what they
that
do.
is a cultural problem that I find in Indian societies mainly, because यहाँ पर एक तरीके से arranged marriage करवा दिए, immature लोगों को ही parent बना दिए, समझ रहे हो? We are like
They're putting
we
responsibilities on
have
people who are not
filters
responsible.
of both kind of people over here.
They're throwing it on you.
Exactly.
Yeah, like immature parents raising kids who tend to become immature or follow or basically preach and teach immature things that they themselves have learned.
I mean, the right knowledge at the right time is what we would be looking for.
Exactly.
If you want to teach, like you can't teach a 10-year-old how the real world works, right?
Right.
So what school should do is prepare him to learn what the real world does.
What
In
they
the-
tend to
About
do is they
preparing a
assume.
mindset.
Yeah.
Like, they should nurture them. Probably, okay, you obviously cannot tell a 15-year-old about the real world. Understood. But similarly, like in your family, you were told how, like, don't let the people outside affect you that much. That's a mindset that he has inculcated, and that's helped him in his life.
And this can be
Right?
applied on almost everything, like
everything.
even bullying, body shaming,
Whatever,
everything it can be
everything.
applied
Everything
on.
that comes
Yeah.
That
basically
self-worth
covers anything that's outside
Yeah,
which can
that's-
affect
that's
you.
what-
Exactly.
That's what-
Like that self-worth topic that you had done. That also will be a little bit less in him because he's always been taught starting, so that mindset has been developed that do not let outside people affect you.
So school
Something
taught
like
us
that.
what they want to teach us. There was a very limited knowledge, for that time. And like he said that उस age में वो ही दे सकते हैं. That
But
was
I'm
it.
curious to know about one thing. I know you want to say something. Please go ahead.
I think the one thing schools should teach us is the fact that change is constant. To have a fluid mind and not a rigid mindset. Ki nahi, if I have learned this is how it is going to be, and everybody has to do it. So anywhere it can be applied, like any field of life. Like suppose, let's say for example, you like your coffee black, and you can't just force people to have black coffee, right? Ki nahi, yahi piyo. There is a concept as white coffee as well, where you put in milk and sugar and everything. That is also
Like versatility
yeah.
versus uniformity.
Yeah, I mean, don't have a rigid mindset. Keep it fluid. So expand your mind to different possibilities and outcomes.
Wait. बोल दो.
आनंद सन में डाइट तो जब दोनों टाइम मिलेगा तो नहीं मैंने परिवार से परमिशन आई थी and who's
बाहर है वो.
in this world
She's sitting outside.
okay the world is sitting outside sorry Parvaz don't kill me
No. Not until the podcast ends.
So yeah, a fluid mindset is what the school should give you, and then you will be prepared for the real world because nothing is the same there. You'll always be ready to accept change.
So throughout the conversation, you were the one. My curiosity, that's what I'm trying to clear. You mentioned that bullying was something that taught you the real world. That is something that is relevant to you.
Yeah.
So in the current world, how are you tackling in any situation that you feel that the same patterns of bullying are repeating? How are you triggering it?
First of all, in the real world and school bullying are two completely different things.
Agreed.
There is no similarities in the two whatsoever. Like in school, see, first of all, how you dealt with bullying in school was you went home, cried to your mom. In the real world, you don't do that. In the real world, you have to be strong enough in yourself and you have to believe in yourself that you can overcome it. To begin with, in school, you weren't mature enough to understand what was going on. In the real world, you are mature enough to know and how you can take that bullying in a constructive way. If someone is nagging you constantly to do
poking
something,
you.
and then you can just say, fuck off, I'll do it, and show that person who you are and what you are. Or maybe not. In school, you can't do that.
I
So
think
you
what
choose.
happens in school is if you are bullied by any chance, then there are two ways you can deal with it. Either you can take a conclusion that bullying is okay, it will happen with me. The other can be I can deal with it this way. If this happens in any way in the future, I can deal with it this way. So
Yeah, you
that
can
is
stay
what-
prepared as well.
Exactly, that is what remains constant, I guess, in school and college and corporate life. The bullying
Everywhere.
might differ, but what you take away is different.
The fundamentality of bullying,
See, comes to fundamental foundation.
like bullying is entirely based on this thing called making someone else feel bad.
Right.
That is bullying.
The intention of it.
entirety.
More
No,
than
no, no,
making
no, no.
other people feel bad, it's
Have
about
you-
making yourself feel better about yourself.
Yeah, and having fun, enjoying, laughing.
Yeah, in the name of fun and in the name of making
That
yourself
would have
feel
been
superior
strong.
to a certain person.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Powerful, strong.
There's also a stereotype just passed on, right? So you kind of instill the idea upon the next people that it is fun, you have to do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what the people
That
and
does that.
a person tends to do is they try to repeat the same thing with other people just to impress that crowd. From where the influence is coming.
The people they want to be like kind of. They think
Or
that
they
they
think
should.
they are cool.
Yeah, they think
Yeah.
they are cool and they want to be like them, so they just instill the same things and pass it on.
Again, the main issue comes to the fundamentality of the school structure. right?
Exactly.
So
That's
they are
the
Again,
core
the
problem.
main issue comes to the lack of accountability for your own actions.
Exactly.
Right.
In school, you can get away with these things very easily.
I mean, even
Because there is no repercussion that they get to face
Exactly.
for any kind of such action.
if I believe if we face our school bullies right now, the people they will for a fact know that it's wrong what they did to us, right?
Of course,
Because
Of course.
that again
Yeah,
comes with
admit it.
maturity, right?
Yes.
So in school, people are not mature enough to understand what they are doing. So again, how will you help these people to gain that level of maturity which they will probably gain in the next parts of their life?
That
Yeah,
can only
holding them
happen by
accountable
that
for their
two-way
actions.
conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, that there needs to be that trade of thoughts.
And
at
that
least.
train of thought comes from your house. So blaming your school for not knowing what the real world is, it's just not real, right?
But what would happen in a situation like his?
Yeah.
Suppose in a situation where an orphan kid has been funded, like education has been funded by someone and is going into a hostel. So he doesn't have a home. So for such people, school becomes that institutionalization. And they have to put or bring every kid onto the same page. Because if someone lacks somewhere or the other, then again that chain of thoughts will go on with someone else. He might influence some other person. They might tend to have fun and some other person might get bullied.
I mean, you can't change it.
See, the point is, major of your childhood you spend in the school. Rather than home, you spend measure of time in your school. The kind of people you're around, you get more influenced by the people your age than the people in your family. Even if the family's mindset is a certain way, you go out into the world, you go out with a certain kids your age, you get influenced more by them than you will get influenced by your
Same
family.
happens today in real world also.
Exactly.
कोई भी सिचुएशन है जो हमारा कलीग या हमारा फ्रेंड सेम एज का अगर हमें बोलेगा तो हम ज्यादा जल्दी से उसको एक्सेप्ट कर पाएंगे इजीली रादर देन सेम थिंग तुम्हारी मॉम तुमको बोल रही है बट विल बी लाइक तुम कुछ ना कुछ उसमें लूप होल्स निकालोगे वेदर दे आर द सेम थिंग्स एग्जैक्टली सेम वर्ड्स बट स्टिल you get more connected to people of your age. This thing. That's true.
So it's the school's responsibility that all the kids are on that same page so that one bad fruit doesn't ruin everyone else.
See, basically what I think now is...
But then again, labeling that kid as the bad fruit is again bullying towards
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
I completely agree with that.
Because
Sorry about that point.
सीखने और
Sorry, I didn't
सिखाने की
what?
एज
I
बहुत
mean,
अलग
if you
होती
say
है
someone you are a bad kid, and that again leads to bullying of that bad kid, no? If the whole school
So
will like
you-
you're bad, you're bad, you're bad,
You
guys,
need to see the root cause, no? Why that kid is bad because he's or she is making other feels bad. That's
Even if they know that something about their behavior is off or like something that they're doing is wrong, instead of labeling them, I'm sorry about that point. Instead of labeling them, they could understand why they're behaving that way, and then try to help that person.
yeah.
So in current world, if anyone body shames you, how do you deal with that person? Do you tell them you are bad, leave?
No,
Or do you talk to
I-
them and try to make them understand that what they are doing is
I
wrong?
try to make them understand like why a certain person feels that way. Because if suppose someone is body shaming me, the first approach that I will take is obviously I will get offended, yes. It will take me a little bit of time to cool down and then talk to that person. But you have to make them understand why a certain person feels that way, and then they might get it. But even after if telling them that they don't get it, I just leave it because it's not worth wasting
To
my
make
energy.
them understand on this point, I 100% disagree because the one who is bullying you, like who is body shaming you, it clearly states that उनको नहीं समझ में आता what is body shaming. That's why they are doing it. To make them understand, it's like भैंस के आगे बीन बजाना. And wasting your time, it's better you just ignore them, fuck off and move on.
See, the reason why I tell them is because the more you ignore the situation, the more they learn that it's okay.
Then it's okay. हाँ.
कि होने दो.
इससे
It's
किसी को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
see, I'm not saying कि तुम हाथ धो के पीछे पड़ जाओ उनको ठीक करने के लिए. I try. If they don't understand, they don't understand. I don't interact with that person anymore.
So you
But-
can, that's what I'm saying कि उनको समझाने से better उनको झाड़ो और निकलो. You don't
Yeah,
have
give
to.
a better comeback.
Yeah,
and
कि
leave.
I am not taking your shit, fuck off. Then they won't do and they will realize this is wrong. If you make them understand na, then I feel bad, this is, you should not do body shaming and all. They will like, lecture मार रही है, चलो ठीक है कल देखते हैं. कल again this thing will happen. If you have to really, want to be strong in that part, including कि वो लोग समझे कि you are not ready to take this shit and it's not okay, you have to झाड़ोफाई them.
आपका वर्क फ्रॉम होम चल रहा है?
Hmm.
कलीग्स का मैं वही सोच रहा था, अगर कोई कलीग अगर ऐसा ऑफिस में मिल जाए जो ऐसी मेंटालिटी का हो और अपनी टीम में मिल जाए तो कैसा हैंडल
तो फिर तो है ना HR, किस बात का डर है?
होगा?
अगर HR भी वही माइंडसेट का हुआ तो
HR ये माइंडसेट का हो ही नहीं सकता. अगर होगा भी तो फिर HR के ऊपर सीनियर HR. ये सब चीजें ऑफिस में खुद पंगे लेने से अच्छा है यूज द सोर्सेज व्हिच इज
Yeah,
गिवन टू यू rather than making a
Hierarchy.
स्कूल में थोड़ी ना कि हम अपनी गैंग बना रहे हैं तू तेरे को बताएंगे नहीं. You use the sources. Be
and
strong
that
enough.
won't even work in office even if you make a gang or something. That won't work.
और
in
ऑफिस में बुलिंग पता नहीं यार, मेरे साथ तो कभी ऐसा हुआ नहीं है.
नहीं, पीपल रिफ्रेन क्योंकि जॉब पे बात आ जाती है. मैंने काफी ऐसे
हाँ
मतलब
तो you have the
देखा
sources
हूँ
ना,
जहाँ
you
पर
do it
लिटरली फायर हो
professionally.
गए लोग.
Like if you are roaming around like in a cafe, तुम किसी को झाड़ सकते हो बट इन कलीग और ऑफिस यू डोंट नो कि कौन क्या पोजीशन पे जो भी, तो क्यों यूज द सोर्सेज, डू इट प्रोफेशनली, बजाओ लेकिन प्रोफेशनली.
वही तो करना सीखना है. या रियल वर्ल्ड आपका अभी तक बाकी है. प्रेजेंट वर्ल्ड अभी जैसे तुम्हारे रियल वर्ल्ड चल रही है, दुकान, बिजनेस, पैसा, स्कूल का कितना इसमें से कैरी हुआ है करंट इसमें अपार्ट फ्रॉम गणित?
नहीं यार, ऐसा मेरी नज़र में बहुत कुछ ऐसा कैरी नहीं है. मैं बहुत अलग था तब से और अभी फिर
मेरे से भी मेरी जो स्कूल लाइफ थी ना, इफ
वो
वी आर
बहुत different थी,
रेस्ट्रिक्टिंग
हाँ।
इफ वी आर रेस्ट्रिक्टिंग इट टॉपिक टू ओनली स्कूल, मेरी स्कूल लाइफ बहुत सिंपल थी. गुड सेट ऑफ फ्रेंड्स, गुड क्लास, गुड टीचर्स, गुड फैमिली, एवरीथिंग. मेरा सारा ये जो चीज़ है ना, रियल वर्ल्ड और स्कूल
Information.
वर्ल्ड, ये कॉलेज लाइफ से स्टार्ट हुआ. व्हेन आई लेफ्ट महाराष्ट्र एंड वेंट टू दिल्ली, तो वहाँ पे मेरे को ओरिजिनल बुलीज और एक्सपीरियंसेस, लैंग्वेज, फूड, टॉक, एवरीथिंग का उधर से आया. तो मेरे लिए भी मैं ऐसा बोलूँगी कि माई स्कूल लाइफ वॉज one of the very best memories of my life, with friends and going, learning, coming back, eating lunch, doing prayers. It was all very happy memories.
So memories में नहीं था. Like the topic was not restricted to schools. It was like the perception of reality painted in school versus the perception of reality painted in the current world. क्योंकि current world में भी काफी realities हमको जो लगता है वो दिखाई जा रही है. Like current world में every screen that exists, it exists to gain your attention.
Yeah.
रियलिटी बहुत डिफरेंट है, लोगों को पता नहीं है.
So coming to that, after all this, जब भी हमने डिस्कस किया, I feel like कि स्कूल, कॉलेज, whatever was there, उसमें जो भी लर्निंग थी हमारी, उसका एक बिगनिंग थी और एक एंड था. बट इन रियल लाइफ देयर इज अ बिगनिंग, बट डेफिनेटली नॉट एन एंड. मतलब
It's gonna go on.
yeah,
Just
so
like
it's
the
like a
reality.
simple
Forever.
statement.
हाँ.
स्कूल में डेफिनेटली बिगनिंग थी, देयर वाज अ बिगनिंग टू योर लर्निंग्स एंड
and
एंड.
there was
तो जैसे हम स्कूल में भी जाते हैं, बुली अगर हुई, समझो 9 बजे बुली हुई आपकी स्कूल में, यू विल बी लाइक कि यार बस 5 घंटे और है, मैं छुट्टी हो जाएगी, आई गो होम, हग माई मॉम. बट इन लाइफ इफ समथिंग हैपन्स, इवन इन ऑफिस ऑल्सो, ऐसा नहीं है कि 9 घंटे ऑफिस की बुली स्टेज इन योर माइंड, लाइक यू हैव टू वट
You have to
एवर,
deal
नॉट
with
इवन
it,
बुली
but,
और लेसन्स वट एवर. तो वो इज नेवर एंडिंग.
Never ending. But the dialogue that he
No, but what I think is that school life is also a real life. This is also a real life. Times changed. You grew up. Your maturity levels changed. In school, you were just giving the part of reality which you could understand or grasp. As you grew up, your reality expanded, right? School
It's
में
formation.
school was your reality. College में college was your reality. Office में office was your reality. So you were just gradually getting to a point, and your realities kept changing. It was never like you were not leading a real life, or you were just in school. तो ठीक है बच्चे हो.
बट इट्स जस्ट वर्सेस
it's
स्कूल लाइफ
about
वर्सेस
your
रियल
reality.
लाइफ.
Your reality, no one can change that.
Yeah.
It stays with you.
It stays
But the
with
perception of reality that the world tries to paint on you, that's what the topic was.
Yeah.
And
Isn't the
even in
perception
that,
of
the
reality
point that
always
you
changing?
brought is what is actually the core of it. Change is constant.
Yeah.
It will keep on forming. It won't change. It will just keep. I mean, the information that keeps getting on, that will just form the identity that you will be in your whole life.
After all, our experiences is who we are.
Our experiences are who we are.
Is our reality after all.
And the experiences that get documented, that carry forward the reality,
Yeah.
just like this podcast. That can be a good ending note. Yeah. Nice.
KC Clique. Vibe of a cafe, voice of the real.